films. Like, I did some independent films with Master P, and a lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
What up? Welcome back. Welcome to the program. Let's go live with Lamont King. I am Lamont King, and we're now live. Let's go. Let's get it. Good to see y'all, man. It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. This is what we do each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 East Coast time, Lord willing. And shout out to everybody on the West Coast watching right now and worldwide. And streaming us inside of the Humor Mill app, man, on your Roku, on your Fire Stick, however you get it. We are in there. Where's that? Where's it? Where'd it go? I got so many of these I got to go through every day. Oh, here we go. Humor Mill app, streaming live shows. Click on Live Comedy TV. It's a fun show, man. For those that are, checking back in and seeing, well, what y'all do today? Because yesterday it was a little different, and then the day before that it was different. Every day is different, but it's always the same thing. We'll work on that later. Talk amongst yourselves. We are broadcasting live from inside the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios. Make sure you go visit our friends at drunkenfruit.com. A lot going on over there. And we are 100%. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Skipped a bit. Hold up. Drunken Fruit Studios.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad official.
All right. Good. We are 100% viewer supported by viewers like you. $sign Lamont King 06 is where you can go to support. Throw a loose dollar at us. 5, 10, 20. If you enjoy the show, get hype with it, get big with it. You're an underwriter. You become, part of the foundation, brick and mortar, if you will. Also, we have all of the content inside our Patreon. Get familiar with patreon.com, Mr. Lamont King. It's a wonderful situation. What up to, let's see, the Peanut Gallery. What's the good word? Tehran, Miss Carter, West Coast. Allie, John Watson from All Fun and Games, which you can catch on Fridays. Let's go live on Fridays, 6 p.m. to 7. And Coach Ken, what the word is. Waiting for our executive producer, Mr. Clarkson. Shout out to him. A pre-shout out. Because I'm sure he's on deck. If you see something, share something. That's the saying. Like if his notification come up and I show up in your timeline, go ahead and just hit that repost and share it. Don't ask questions. Just do it. It ain't too much. It don't hurt. Don't be stingy, man. Let everybody else get in on the fun. All right, there's that. A lot to talk about today and nothing at all at once. Imagine that. All right, don't start this off. I want to do something real quick. Let me do something real quick. Hopefully I can make it happen. But this is a live show. So you never know what to expect. And I looked at the calendar and I was like, oh yeah, wait a minute. September 2nd.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice
Oh,
messaging system.
I was trying to go live. Hold on, let's try it again.
Your call has been forwarded.
Oh man. Oh well. I'll save that for a little bit later. Yeah, I looked at the calendar. I was like, September 2nd, September 2nd, September 2nd, September 2nd. That means something. All right, we got a guest coming in to talk about a few things. Civil rights attorney Kevin Mincy out of Philly. He's been on the show before, a friend of the program. In a segment we call Against the Law, kind of break down some things, help us understand things that are above our pay grade. So very shortly, we're going to be talking about the new revelations coming out about the plea deal that was offered to a gentleman in Kentucky, where they, we'll get into the story a little later, but the plea deal involving Breonna Taylor's name after her death, which I thought was just so disrespectful. And we had to bring Kevin back on to unpack it because I was like, what the hell is going on? Never even heard of that was a thing. I thought this was funny though. So Al Green, for some reason, was trending on Twitter, but this picture popped up, and I was like, "Who did this?" That's not even the internet being undefeated. That's somebody with a lot of time on their hands being undefeated. Genius level. Genius level. All right, so while we wait for Kev Mincy, I got a story to tell, man. I might need y'all help. I was not going to share this. This is kind of a personal situation I'm embroiled in, and I wasn't going to share this, but it was a plot twist today. All right, so for those of you out there who have interactions with your neighbors, maybe have a negative interaction or ongoing dispute, or just there's energy. It's not really a dispute, but there's some negative energy, a funk, if you will, between you and your neighbor. It's like it's the pre-dispute levels of energy where it could turn into something, but you're not really sure. I'm in one of those. And so something today happened unsettling. Let me give you some backstory on it. I ain't gonna give you too much because we, like they say in the movies or in the news or whatever, can't really speak on it because it's an ongoing situation. But you ever have an issue with your neighbor regarding noise pollution, disturbing the peace, disturbing the quiet and enjoyment of your premises, depending on where you live at. If you live in joined wall space, shared wall space, you may have this issue. So I had this issue, right? We have shared walls, and this individual for the last a long period of time has been kind of borderline inconsiderate with noise pollution. So I believe he's a contractor of some sort. And I believe he brings a lot of his work home. So doing the contracting, you'll hear that in the adjacent space. Sometimes it's real early, sometimes it's real late. Sometimes it's super loud, sometimes it's ongoing. So there's that. That's pretext, right? So I'm pretty accommodating. I know people got to get stuff done. People do different stuff for work. And I ain't really, it wasn't really a thing. In person, I've seen him a couple times. Joke, haha. Hey, man, there's a lot of noise going on up there. What, you got a whole auto body shop up there, Jones? What, you got a workshop up there? Haha. Nah, blah, blah, blah. Once, twice. Hey, man, it'd be really, really loud. You think I could get a nap? That was the second time. So there was that. So then it became an issue of inconsiderateness, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan of disrespect or being inconsiderate to your peoples, right? So it came to a point where it was too much to take. And I was like, I got to take a different course of action, approach it a little differently. Now, as a citizen, as a resident with an HOA, you got some rights, right? So I went and did the research. Well, what can I do? And how will it come across? Because basically, I was left with the only option of telling. So I go to the HOA. I'm like, what can I do to bring it to attention? I want to get it documented because I don't know. We've had some occurrences, and I want some paperwork. I want it in writing. So it's like, can it be anonymous? They like, yeah, it's gonna be anonymous. The first time we alert the homeowner, let them know if it happens again, we got to sit y'all down, have a hearing. I was like, bet. I was like, what's the only other option? They say, call the police. Red flag immediately for me. So in this climate, I, as a black man, am not going to call the police on another black man as my first option in any way, shape, or form. 1, 2, or third option. It's got to be the last resort. So I really took that off the table. I was like, well, as a citizen, let me go through the proper channels and let's just put this on paper. Be like, yo, it's kind of overwhelming. Just want to let you know, here's the warning. We can hear you. Sound like you banging down my shit at all hours of the night. Pause. So that's where it went. But to my surprise, the twist came today. Well, the twist came a couple days ago where I found out that it wasn't anonymous. So it was made apparent to this individual who complained. So I immediately, you know how the hood is. Not to say I live in the hood. Not to even say that I'm street. But this individual, maybe street or hood adjacent, made it known that I guess I'm a snitch or I'm a teller. So the twist comes today where everybody, and I'm giving y'all a lot too, and my guest is standing by, and I'm going to ask him too. So the twist came where I went and asked, I was like, I'm getting, there's a change of energy. I'm getting a lot of hostility and aggression thrown my way. Was it anonymous or was it not? Went to the HOA. Oh, yeah, that's the policy. That's the protocol. Da, da, da. I was like, well, let me see the letter that y'all sent. Make sure I wasn't CC'd on it. Right? So this individual is pretty much a noise nuisance to the entire community. So everybody has a problem with him. Nobody's confident enough to approach it. So what they did was piggyback on my noise complaint. So when I saw it today, you know what? Let me pause right there. I'm gonna bring my man Kevin in because he might be able to help with this. Because this now the more I'm talking it out, I'm like this. I could use some type of legal analysis, if you will. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in civil rights attorney Kevin Mincy. Now, what's good with you, man? Oh, no volume. Don't hear no volume. What's up? Hold on. Say something. Nah, I don't get no volume. You gotta turn that mic on. Hit the mic icon or something. So I'm gonna finish the story. Nah, nothing at all. Let me check you out. Put you back in. Let's try it. Let me hear you. Nah, what's up? I don't know. Cause I think you really could have you could have helped out on this. All right, he gonna jump back in. All right, so here's the twist today. Now listen again. As a citizen, I'm trying to. All right, let's try. Here we go. There we go.
You hear me?
Yeah, good to see you. All right, so you've been catching a little bit of the story, so I'm getting to the end of it. So as a citizen, I was like, you get to a certain age, and you like, all right, I'm not tripping over no snitch tag or no telling tag. Like you're affecting the quality of my life, my quality of enjoyment. That's in the contract, quality of enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? You got a family, you got all that. So I wasn't really tripping off that. I just didn't want to have to go the police route, which is the route I was advised to go by the HOA, because that's what they do. They don't understand we can't do that. We can't use police as customer service.
Right. That's not how it works for black people.
It's not how it works for black folks. So especially if it's in a man-to-man situation where I could really real live address you and be like, my man, Slim, but when I've done that 3 times and no reprieve, what other choice do I have as a citizen? So anyway, end of the story. Here's the twist. I asked today for a copy of the letter that they sent, which was the warning, which was based on the letter that I sent them. Guess what I saw when I saw the letter that they sent them?
Your name, first and last name?
No, I thought that's what I thought I was going to see. But they had everybody else's complaint added into my summary.
Oh, okay. Convenient.
So it made it seem like I have just been hating his guts forever. And they had pictures that I didn't take. They had complaints about other shit that I didn't make. So when I've addressed you about the noise, then you get a full inclusive complaint about noise, debris, trash, junk, everything. Now, you know that's me.
Right.
You already know that's me. Him downstairs is basically who it's him downstairs, right? So I'm like, and the reason why I started off with this, and I know this is what I didn't bring you on to talk about this, but it made me think of something. I said there's a term for that, for what they did. There's some type of legal term for that.
I would say the closest thing I could think of is maybe they cast you in a false light. It's not really defamation because they're not saying something, I guess, that would make you look negative in the eyes of the community, just as one individual.
Right.
And nothing bad has happened to you yet. So this is one of those things where, like, have you been wronged? Technically, could you, now, what are you going to do, sue the HOA? I guess you could, but your damages would be what lawyers call nominal, meaning that you don't have any physical damages, your reputation hasn't been harmed outside of your relationship with this guy you share a wall with. So your damages probably be nominal, and there's not really a whole lot I think that you can do other than force maybe the HOA to do a retraction letter. Say, hey, look, he only made one complaint, not the 17 other complaints. Those other come do that. Force to clear up the situation.
Now that's what I thought. We talked about that. I was like, I'm all for. I like making people publicly apologize, and I feel like I was grieved in such a way that I really would like them to square it out. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna add another layer. And this is just by way of full transparency to you and the viewers. I don't need sympathy, but how do I say this? He tried to hit me with his car the other day.
Oh.
So, say again.
How close did he get to you?
I couldn't see because he was behind me. He did me with a Top Gun flyby. Hit me with one of those. He buzzed the tower. I'm out on a nightly walk, and he made sure he knew that he was coming. I knew that he was coming. Pause. And he legit. If I'd have left or right, I'd have been in the path. But it was super deliberate.
What I would do is I would definitely send a letter to my HOA, attach a copy of the letter that they sent, incorporating everyone else's complaints under your name, and demand that they clear up the situation because you feel like your safety could be at risk because this is your neighbor, you guys share a wall. Not only is he already being loud and noisy and interrupting your enjoyment of your property, but now you feel like there could be a problem where your safety's at risk, and they caused that. Now that might cause some liability. Now, again,
I like that.
Fortunately, we have to wait for something bad to happen to you.
Right, and that's the thing, man. You sit there, and that's so real. And we talk about those situations where people be in real life domestic situations, and you tell them to go tell, and then they tell, and there's people who's like, all right, well, we got to wait till he knocks you upside the head before we do something. And then that person never, because of retaliation, never is interested in telling again.
Tariff many women and men. I don't want to be sexist.
Yeah.
Terrified in some domestic situations where, you make the complaint, and now you got to wait a day or two for the sheriff to show up and serve this person that still lives with you. And then where do you live after you report? Because maybe that person doesn't want to move. Maybe it's their house. There's a lot of factors that go into making those types of reports. Yeah.
That's tricky. And like I said today, when I was like, I had a feeling. I went up there. I was like, hey, man, can I see the letter? Because I was like, I think he knows it's me. And I was like, why would you say that? And I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, can I see the letter? So they showed me the letter, and it was no CC. It wasn't my name. But it had pictures I ain't take. It had complaints I ain't make. And I'm like, oh, man, wait a minute. I'm super snitching out here. Like, they made me look like a whole rat in the building.
The neighbor sitting at the top window telling on everybody, pointing the finger.
And that's how I look. And meanwhile, I walk to the car in a wife beater with a decent gait, a nice little strut and a pimp walk. I'm thinking I'm this cool old head. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, hey, like that's the snitch nigga right there. You know what I'm saying? They totally they ruined me. They ruined me.
Everybody knows you the snitch.
It's unfortunate, man. All right. Well, I'll see about it. And I appreciate that consult, if you will, on the spot. But that is kind of in line with what I thought I could do. I was like, nah, y'all need to apologize for this. Y'all need to take that back. That wasn't me.
100%.
I was just complaining about the noise. They took pictures of the trash can where he dumped furniture and all that shit. I was like, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Out there tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm talking about the power drill at 2 a.m. That's my issue.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. All right. So, reason why I had you back, man. Welcome back. I hope all is well. Anything new and exciting on the docket for you lately? Anything that you've
in
the mix?
I talked to you. We had sued the city of Philadelphia and the mayor and the police commissioner about them spraying the protesters on 676 with the pepper gas. Did I talk about that?
Yes.
All right, then. Other than that, I'm just trying to settle that case and some other ones, man. So if we got time to talk, and you want to, I'll tell you about whatever case we've got going on.
Okay, we can circle back. All right, so this is why we brought my man Kevin Mincy, civil rights attorney from Philadelphia, on. So this story came across. Let me see if I can share this screen this week regarding Breonna Taylor. Well, it's not even regarding Breonna Taylor. It's a story that her name came up after her death, which is so shameful. So I'm gonna make sure I lay out the details correctly before I start asking questions. Here we go. Here. All right. So I'm gonna highlight this while I read it real quick. So if y'all follow along, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the story. So the NPR put this out today. There was a prosecutor's plea deal which required a drug suspect to name Breonna Taylor as a co-defendant. All right, there was a man charged with running a drug syndicate, and he was offered a plea deal in July if he would name Breonna Taylor, the 26-year-old black woman who had been killed by police in her Louisville, Kentucky apartment, as a member of his alleged criminal gang. Now, as most of you know, she was shot and killed by Louisville Metro police officers on March 13th, who had broken into her apartment illegally at night using a no-knock warrant. Her death has led to nationwide protests against police brutality. Okay, so we know that part. So the purpose on the raid of her home, this is news to a lot of people as well, was to find evidence linking her to an ex-boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover, a convicted felon with a history of drug trafficking, according to court documents. So the story that they're telling is that she was receiving mail and packages for him still. So they went there to either, based on the information, intel that they thought they had, to see if they can get him or her or whoever. And they found nothing. Kicked the door in. The boyfriend shot at who he thought was intruders. They shot back, killing her. So we know that. That's what we do know. Glover was actually, at that night, was raided across town, and they found like 10 vials of opiates and 4 ounces of cocaine. So his attorney tells NPR that as a part of their plea negotiation, the Jefferson Commonwealth Attorney's Office offered a deal to Glover that included naming Taylor as a member of his organized crime syndicate. The dude took screenshots of it, but he said he no longer has the deal in writing in his possession. Said he immediately rejected anything with her name on it. They say he was facing 10 years versus probation and no time if he would have just threw her name on the indictment, on the plea agreement. This Glover's attorney said in his entire career, he said he has never seen anything like this. The prosecutors defend themselves by saying it was just a draft. All right. That's what quotes, in quotes. It was just a draft, the plea deal. All right. So first response is that normal? Is that something you've ever heard of or seen?
Well, it's not uncommon for prosecutors to try and get someone obviously to flip and testify against people who are alive and actual co-defendants in cases. That those types of deals happen all the time, and often we have to evaluate our case and decide, and the client has to make a decision. Do they want that snitch label that we were just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely what's going to come with it. What we see more and more, especially in civil rights cases, and it's disgusting, is the district attorney's offices in these different counties and cities almost acting as the first line of defense for the city or for officials. And so you'll see them prosecute cases, whether it's assault against a police officer, or in this case, trying to name Breonna Taylor as like a posthumous co-defendant of this guy who they're accusing of being a drug trafficker. And they use it as a shield to try and protect the city from liability. It's not supposed to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
These prosecuting officers are obviously also are charged with sometimes having to prosecute city officials and city employees, so they shouldn't be, standing here, backing up the city. But oftentimes that's what we see.
Now, so since obviously that's a move, it's a maneuver, but somebody that's not living in a case that you botched.
Well, in theory, if I was giving them the entire benefit of the doubt, which I'm not, like obviously I'm skeptical like everybody else is, but in theory, if they had been conducting a lengthy investigation and somehow either saw Miss Taylor in contact with this particular defendant or others associated with this conspiracy, they may have in their paperwork somewhere that they saw her, either in phone conversation or personal conversation, and they think that she might be involved. But like what I was saying to you when we talked about this earlier in the week, even if she was the queen pin of a drug operation, it doesn't mean you just get to go firing through the walls of her home and kicking her door in without a warrant. And so they're in trouble either way. So even if he had agreed and said, like, yeah, look, she's a terrible person, and I was scared for my life every time I dealt with her, it doesn't mean the police get the opportunity to come in and murder you before you have an opportunity to clear your name in court.
Now, is that does that help him in any way that he came forward with this, or is they about to throw the book at him and give him all 10?
It'll definitely help him in the streets and will be solid. The guy who wouldn't turn on Breonna Taylor. Could it help him in this case? I think it could.
Unlike me.
Right, you straight snitch. But I think if I was defending him, I would definitely use this to his advantage and try and say, look, they're trying to make this case bigger than what it is. They're manufacturing stuff against my client, just like they tried to do against Miss Taylor. Look, here's proof they tried after she died, and they knew that they had liability to get him to say, oh, she was a part of this drug organization. So anytime that somebody fumbles like that, you definitely want to try and capitalize on it and make it as big an issue as you can at the trial.
Now, we also along these lines, man, we really, and I titled this Good Apples because I keep hearing this bad apples argument. And it's funny because the bad apples argument only applies to when you talk about, the police force, which is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't, no bad apples in the hood, no bad apples in the black community. It's just, that's how y'all are.
Right.
But we see, I don't know if you saw the chief of police in Kenosha, his press conference.
I've seen clips of a few of them. Yeah,
right. So there was some old stuff mixed in with some new stuff, and some of the old stuff that surfaced recently. He's talking about, these guys out there that's having 10 babies, and they need to, these criminals, man, they just need to be in a warehouse for the rest of their life. Don't feed them. They don't get no rec time, and just till they die off. And hopefully, after 100 years, when they die off, our society will be better. And so it's so much to that. Then also, the new clips, he's talking about, everybody with a gun, militia, whatever, come up here and do your civic duty and help us out and keep these streets clean. And this is the police chief at a press conference in front of the world.
Yeah, he's crazy. I guess he lives in an area of the world where police can speak freely, even to press. And for up until 2 weeks ago, no one knew where Kenosha was or who he was, and no one cared about his opinion. So he could speak freely to the press, and the press could report it because it was generally, supporters of those statements who were reading that and saying, "Hey, right on."
Yeah,
see that all over the place. So I was in court in the Poconos last week, which is a conservative area, lots of Trump voters. And the district attorney and the police officers in the room were just generally talking about the types of people who were being attracted to the resorts because they advertise, and these are their words, they advertise it as an hour and a half away from New York City and from Philadelphia. And so who they're talking about coming from Philadelphia and New York City. It's not Trump voters, right? It's us, it's the black people. And so they were talking about the criminality and the criminal element that was being attracted to these to these resorts and just speaking freely, like I wasn't even in the room, like it didn't even matter. And when you're in those types of courtrooms, I just do a lot of listening because I'm taking mental notes, and then I know when I see that person on the stand because they're all, those police forces are so small. Literally every cop is involved in all the cases. So I just keep that in mind, and then I'll use it down the road.
Hmm. Yeah. So, but from a legal standpoint, when they come out like that, there's no pushback as far as no, my man, you can't say that. And I was corrected; it was the sheriff, not the police chief. But there's no, my man, you can't say that. There's nobody in in the back.
Right, if they lived in an area where their police officers got sued often and they were being hit with judgments and settlements, there definitely would be a lawyer in the background waving their arms like, no, don't say that, because it sounds like you're sanctioning vigilantism, right? You're basically recruiting the community to all be their individual Batmans to come up with their weapons and defend these properties. And the problem is, when you do that, now you're making the city or the county liable for their actions because you've kind of informally deputize them as sheriffs or police officers or whatever. And that's kind of what he was saying when he was asking these people to come out and defend these areas. And so they're definitely going to be challenged when those suits are filed for any of the two folks who died and the gentleman who was shot in the back. They're going to have to answer for those statements in depositions and later at trial because it's creating an agency relationship. It's like if you were at Wendy's and they asked you to hold down the register while they ran in the back and you're standing there and a guy comes in and you shoot him because you think he's about to rob the place, well, they deputize you. So that's actually Wendy's responsibility. Yours too, right? But say, they shouldn't have let me.
And also, but isn't it a thing too, the inviting hostility? Isn't that a thing? And there's some liability attached to that?
Well, I mean, he can say that, well, I wasn't sure that they would be hostile towards the folks. I just wanted them to come out and support our officers, right? That's going to be his defense.
Okay.
Okay,
got it.
He's responsible for any conduct that they engage in when they're kind of under this deputy label that he's creating.
Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, this is off the record. Just your opinion based on what you've seen and experienced. Kyle Rittenhouse, you think he's going to do any time? Because I'm willing to. I'm notorious for my dollar bets, and I'm willing to bet $1 he won't see no time, or at best 18 months.
I definitely think he's going to get convicted of murder.
Okay.
I think it's, regardless of what your president says about how he was defending himself out there, it's hard to claim self-defense after you've already shot somebody. And now it's funny because the victims in this case were actually acting as like kind of the citizen police officers that
right to restrain him, to arrest him.
He just shot somebody, and meanwhile he kills 2 people. I think that there's a strong possibility that the case gets moved out of Kenosha, and it's moved out of Kenosha to a place where that aren't as in love with the police officers of Kenosha, whether that's Milwaukee, which at least has more black people than Kenosha, or even another part of Wisconsin. Just because it's all white doesn't mean that the people can't be fair. So I've won trials just by kind of relating to folks, black client, 2 black lawyers at the table, and here we are talking to a jury full of white folks, but just making it real relatable. Like, what if this was you out here though? Like, and this should be real easy because the victims were white. And so I think he's definitely going to get convicted of murder, and he's likely to do some time. Will they give him the full gamut of the penalty that they would have given one of us had we been out there on vigilante time killing 2 white folks? Probably not, but I'd be surprised if he skated.
Now, to that point about you being relatable and winning those types of cases, and I know this is your guy, but I feel like Ben Crump is starting to turn into a victim chaser in the worst way. I get that sense, and I agree. He's doing a great job. I follow social media, and I see what he's doing, and he's trying to have a presence and a move. But I really feel like he's the first on the phone after these scenarios everywhere.
Yeah, well, I think that he even has to be a chaser at this point, right? He's positioned himself nationally over years to the point where if people think to look him up, and he's so easy to find and access that it's easy for him to be the first one to call it. Much like when folks used to call Al Sharpton in the '90s,
Right.
because you know that he's the voice of the people, and you want that voice to come out and speak for you. And Ben is known for representing these families who deal with this tragedy with police.
But for the layman, just the spectator and the observer like myself, I'll be like, man, they knocking a lot of us down. They're shooting a lot, and he'll have all of them. Like you don't have that bandwidth. You taking on 12 cases at once. Like they running you ragged.
I don't know how many people he has working for him in his office, but it sounds like he needs a lot, because you got cases in multiple jurisdictions. You got cases in Minnesota, Georgia, I think Texas, Wisconsin. So he's all over the place. He's got to have, and I'm sure he's working with local counsel in all these places as well, and using their staff to kind of help him make sure he stays up with the local rules. That's usually the kind of relationship you have in those situations. But yeah, he's got to be careful that he doesn't overextend himself, because you're talking about families who are dealing with grief and they need, proper representation.
And from a closure standpoint, does he have a win ratio? Does he have, like, what's his record on these, or do they just go unannounced?
I think he just got $600 million for Flint a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I stand corrected. Okay, I had applause for that.
Some of the settlements, when you hit them big, a lot of times they come with confidentiality clauses. And you see the case dissolve magically on the federal docket, and you can just assume that something happened. So the cities and towns that are stringent about that, they're going to make sure that you're not going to tell everybody that you hit us for $20 million. But there are some cities, Philadelphia is one of them, where there is no confidentiality clause, and so we publish our as soon as we hit them.
Yeah, right. Because I'm not all the way mad at him, because I want it to be where he's the pit bull, where when you see him coming, you're going to lose, and almost where even officers at the street level are thinking, I don't want to get crumped. You know what I'm saying? Where it becomes an action verb, where I don't want to put myself in a situation where I got to face this guy. I want it to be like that. I just wasn't sure, and I don't know if it is. But just even that, just a little announcement right there that he got the Flint settlement. That's a big deal. So he's definitely capable. I just wouldn't want him to be, like you said, overextended.
Yeah, these cases take a long time too to develop. So how many years have we been talking about Flint and their water supply? So
True that.
Just come down now. This gives you an example of, even though it looks clear cut, there's all types of ways that defendants can stall. And remember, defense attorneys make their money by billing by the hour, right? So every 6 minutes, they're charging you their hour, boom, that's 6 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. And so they're filing motions and doing all types of things that they know can't even win, or they're knocking out insignificant parts of the lawsuit. Meanwhile, the monster is still sitting there, and then they ultimately have to pay the piper. So that's why it takes a long time, because it's, defense attorneys got to make money. It's budget.
Yeah. All right. So one quick question on from the Peanut Gallery on Kyle Rittenhouse. So he would not get federal charges, even though he was underage with an assault rifle traveling across state lines?
He could be charged federally if they chose to, but I think they're leaving it in state court for now, which is probably, I don't know if it's right to say good for those who are rooting for that, but it keeps it out of Trump's purview.
Okay. Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, by keeping it in state court. Now, the likelihood is that, if everything goes the way that we hope in November, that Trump won't even be in a position to affect his sentence regardless by the time it goes to trial, because it's trial anytime before Election Day. But I saw some of the comments. Yeah, that it's in state court, I think, is a good thing. Okay.
All right. Well, as we wrap up, and again, I appreciate your time as we wrap with you. Give us a update on some of the stuff that you've been working on since the last time we spoke.
Man, still chasing down the town of Harrisburg in Wilkes-Barre County in Pennsylvania.
Is that the same story for the
guys who died in prison?
Oh, no, I don't think we heard that.
Okay, so I represent a guy who swallowed drugs in a car stop, and they took him to the prison instead of to the hospital. He died within an hour of getting to the prison.
Oh, wow.
And all the officers knew, they wrote it in all their paperwork, that they suspected he had swallowed drugs, and they were almost taunting him, like, if you don't admit to us that you swallowed these drugs, you could die if you swallow drugs. And so, get arrested. So he's like, no, I was eating candy cigarettes. He's got like powder all over his face and stuff. and they take him to the prison, and he dies. And so we filed suit in second or third week of July on that. So we're very early in the litigation in that. Prison has actually had 2 more people die in the last 14 days.
The same prison.
In prison. And so I think in the last 5 years, the number's probably up to 11 or 12 inmates have died under kind of suspicious circumstances regarding the medical treatment and that type of stuff. So I think we're really at the tip of the iceberg on that, and really trying to drill down and see if people are dying in police custody or prison custody in Dauphin County, Pennsylvania.
So that's taking most of your time.
That is taking a lot of my time. At least that's of the case I can tell you about. I've got some other cases that I can't tell you about that are also monopolizing my life, but those in particular are really, really crushing me right now.
Yeah, I can dig it. Well, I appreciate you carving out a little bit of time to come on. Let's go live and talk against the law. Ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Mincy, civil rights attorney from Philadelphia, friend of the program. You're gonna be our resident go-to.
I like the name of my segment. Let's keep this going.
Yeah, against the law. Yeah, I like the shirt though. Is that that's a play on Papa John's? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Better ingredients, better racism.
Oh, nice. So disrespectful. I love it. I love it. All right, Jack. I'll holler at you.
All right, man. Peace.
Appreciate it. All right, y'all. There it is. My man, Kev Mincy. Mr. Kevin Mincy. Attorney Kevin Mincy. Got to give him all that, all that proper respect. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. First timers, man. This is what you get a little bit. Trending topics, celebrity interviews, hilarious commentary, and interesting people. That's what the show is made of. I'm gonna take a quick commercial break, and I'm gonna try to reach out to the guest I was trying to reach out to earlier. But in the meantime, I think you enjoyed the prank phone calls from my 2003 comedy album entitled "The Telephone Man Is Calling." So I dug up another one. So this one is this aired actually live on the radio, nationally syndicated morning radio. We were in like 70 markets at the time. And this is when Shaquille O'Neal went to the Heat from the Lakers, and I was watching the news in the studio, and we were pre-taping because crank calls. There's a whole thing. You gotta figure out how you're gonna do it and the angle and where you're gonna call. And across the news came that Shaq went to his physical, and we were just laughing because I was like, "How is this news?" Like, Shaq went to his physical. He got his balls played with. And like, that's news. Like, everybody was so excited. So I was like, let's try to call the hospital and as Shaq's ball boy, who normally handles his balls and was not invited to the physical. And this is how this played out. So enjoy Shaq's ball boy.
Psychiatry.
I'm looking for Dr. at on campus at the doctor's hospital. You have that number?
No, ma'am, we don't have that number.
Sir. I was reading that Shaquille had stopped by for his physical, and I wanted to catch up with him. I'm related.
Shaquille who?
Shaquille O'Neal, woman.
Shaquille O'Neal has not been by here.
No, he went to see Dr. on campus.
Ma'am, you're calling Memorial Hospital.
Sir, I'm looking for Coral Gables, right? University of Miami. Can you transfer me is what I'm asking?
No, we're not affiliated.
I'm his cousin, and they said he just left like a couple hours ago for making his physical, and I was supposed to be there.
We're not affiliated. I can't transfer
I'm at every
you.
physical, every Shaquille physical. I'm supposed to be there because when the doctor says call, somebody needs to hold Shaquille's O'Neals, and
you need to hold Shaquille O'Neal.
Hold his O'Neals because that's what I do. I travel with him, and I'm his cousin.
So why don't you try him at his cell phone?
It's off because he just got traded, dumbass. So he traded in the cell phone. You know how when you drop your plan or whatever and you turn in your minutes, he doesn't have the same.
No, I wouldn't know. I have to hang up now. You need to call.
Well, wait, you've been a little bit belligerent, Mama Cedar.
One second. I'm sorry I can't help you anymore, but I really don't have that number to give you.
You've been a very bad help.
All right. Good afternoon, Miami Heat.
Yeah, here's the thing. I was just watching the news, and they said Shaquille just left the doctor's office for his physical with the team doctor, and I had missed my plane. I'm his cousin, and I also dropped my cell phone and some Hennessy one time, but I don't have his number. I lost his number. I'm supposed to be there with him because I'm his traveling ball boy. I assist him while he's getting a physical. Because the doctor may not have as many hands, and Shaq's a rather large fella, and he needs someone that should kill him while he's O'Neilling, and that's me. And I trying to get his number.
I have no idea where he is. What is your name?
Crayon. I'm a cousin, and I've been recently put on payroll ever since the trade, and I'm like his traveling ball boy. I hold his balls during the physical because things can get out of hand, literally. If you catch my drift.
I don't think I can help you. I'm sorry.
Do you know how heavy a man's balls can be at a physical?
Okay. Thank you.
Do you know?
Orthopedic Institute, good evening.
Yes, I need Dr. please. He's the team doctor that did the physical on Shaquille this afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can get him for you.
Sure.
What is your name?
Crayon.
Oh, just like a crayon.
Right.
Oh, okay. You must love coloring. Okay, and what is, he did the physical on Shaquille?
Shaquille's O'Neal's.
I know, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I'm related. We're related.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's like
well, then you're a nice lady.
I'm a sir. So has he left, or did you see Shaquille, or?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you okay?
I got laryngitis.
Oh, that's terrible. You shouldn't be talking at all then.
I know, that's right.
Yeah. So listen, did you see Shaquille? Was he feeling good?
On the answering service.
Did you see
him?
him?
At 5 o'clock they left.
But did you see him at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not there anywhere.
Oh, you didn't talk to him?
I'm like 20 miles away.
I thought you said he was a nice guy. I thought you said you talked to him.
Somewhere I've seen him on TV and being a cop and everything.
So you nowhere even near the facility.
Yeah, well, I've just, heard a lot about him. And, that's all.
Okay, I thought, maybe you could help me out, but you can't help me out at all.
Sorry.
Oh, well, okay, thank you. You're pretty much worthless. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take that out. Yeah, that was it's funny because like those are real calls. Everybody answered the phone at that time, back in those days. Just everybody, and told who you needed to contact and giving up numbers and all that. Hilarious. All right, let's go live. Welcome to the program. Hey, big fella.
What's happening?
What's good with you?
Ain't much, man. I'm just enjoying my a little day. I had a wonderful day at work.
Wait a minute, let me introduce you real quick. I ain't even introduced you. I just had you on hold. All right, everybody, this is Makalani. This is Big Bro. This is happy birthday today. Happy birthday, September 2nd.
Not for short, Larry. For some of y'all who don't uninitiated, but yeah, it's my birthday. I'm celebrating it in big style by working and talking to Baby Bro on his live and listening to Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille's O'Neal's.
It sounds like Meals on Wheels. And I don't remember that one, but
that's one of my. You said you don't remember that one?
I remember. No, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, one of my favorites because it was too easy. Everybody that answered the phone was dumb, and it was like one person removed from that day. We almost got Shaq on the phone. Almost.
I can see you getting Shaq on the phone after that.
Yeah. Almost.
If that was an epic. That was an epic.
Right. But yeah, man. So you enjoying yourself, and you said you went to work, and did you have your signature meal?
Did I who?
You have your signature meal, your birthday dinner, and all that. Or was it too early?
Well, I had two angels come past and drop me off some lunch. Ness and Shara came through to wish me a happy birthday. That was great. I appreciate that a lot. They bought some liquid refreshment that I'm sipping on now.
That's what's up.
That's always a plus. But and then I heard that he was on and that Papa One. What's that nigga's name?
Alpha Papa.
Alfie, that nigga. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard he did something that shout out, and I wanted to make sure I snuck a peek in and see what's happening with him.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we can do that now.
They called earlier and wish me happy. I'm sorry. They called earlier and sang happy birthday to me, which was very pleasant.
Yeah. And I just wanted to go live because I know in these times, man, birthdays is real tricky for folks. Is not what it was last year. Your previous birthday and this year. I know a lot of people had birthdays this year, and it's just completely weird. So I just wanted to make sure, we acknowledged you.
See, here's the deep part about it. Since we were 1 and 2 or whatever, your parents have always given you, me, and Lachelle, a dollar amount to coincide with our age.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. And it's sweet. It's very endearing, and I love it. Especially since I'm getting up there in age. But these niggas sent me $50 this year, man. Talk about you owe me one, man. I was mad.
That's
I
hilarious.
don't want to see 50.
That's hilarious. Did they want change, or you just gonna hold it to next year?
I'm mad you sent the whole 50. Come on, man. Don't do that.
That's funny.
That's very disrespectful.
Well, that just let you know you probably won't get no money next year. You just hold on to that 50.
No. This goes on forever in perpetuity.
Oh, okay.
From what I understand. As long as, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, Jack. We'll enjoy. I appreciate it. We're running out of time. We got to make room for Roland Martin, so I got to cut you short. Appreciate you. Happy birthday.
Trump is no neck having ass.
All right.
All right.
Be easy.
All right.
Yeah. That's the big brother right there. All right. So around this time, we like to leave on a lesson and hear a word from an elder in a segment I like to call Hi Dad.
Happy everyday, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflections. Happy birthday. Today is the 49th birthday of my oldest son, Makalani. The memory of his birth and what was happening at the time has got me to thinking. I had just gotten a raise in my salary to $5,300 per year. Did you hear that? $5,300 per year. I got that because my paperwork that verified my time in the military had just come through payroll. I was attending Bowie State College and working full-time at a youth correctional facility. I dropped out of school for the fall semester to help my wife care for our son, and she had no relatives in the area. My son helped me curtail my excessive drinking habit. How did he do that? I had to purchase Pampers, milk, and clothes. Taking on the responsibility of raising your first child has many challenges that must be met in spite of being novices. Things that used to be priorities became secondary. I began fighting our battles with a pen because my family became my priority. Now, Makalani is an accomplished writer, and he is doing well in life. Happy birthday, Alpha Papa.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we are. You have made it to the end of another awesome show. Let's go live. Let's go live. One more. I appreciate y'all. To our guests, Kevin Mincy, Makalani, Big Larry, and everybody else, and all the viewers. I appreciate y'all, man. Stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't let these times stress you out. And we'll see y'all tomorrow, Lord willing, 6 o'clock Eastern time, right here. Let's go live. Tell somebody about it, and we'll keep it moving, man. Yeah, I think that's it. You know what? Let's try to. Let's go to Roland right now. He's standing by. Let me pull him up. Let's see if we can get him in for at least 30 seconds. Wait a minute. Where's the button for Roland? Oh, I must have dropped the line. Well, hey, look, Roland, hey, stand by. We appreciate your patience, man. We'll try to get you on tomorrow, man. Everybody else, man, y'all be safe and enjoy your evening.